I chose in my 20s, as I was coming up in this business, to not have children. I married not my high school sweetheart, but my junior high sweetheart. And one reason we didn't make it was I knew she wanted kids. And I knew the deeper I got into my career, I just couldn't have kids. I am obsessed to this moment with what I'm doing right here, right now with you. I live for this. It's my whole life. It's my calling. It's not a job. It's my passion. It's what I was born to do and what I want to continue to do as long as my personal situation will allow it.
Skip Bayless said this and more on his program, The Skip Bayless Show.
I then, after that relationship ended, my first marriage, I had a longer-term relationship with another woman, and in the end, she just had to have children. I said, I can't. I tried to get there, and I couldn't get there. I just knew I was going to have to move up. That's how this business works. And I just knew that if I continued to work nights and weekends the way I do, obsessively, that I'd be a horrible father. I'd be as horrible a father as my father was for other reasons. And I wasn't going to inflict that upon kids. Not fair, not worth it. No. I'm married to this.
Bayless, the mega millionaire provocateur who picks his targets and attacks relentlessly, reflects on his job and personal life.
Then I met my wife, Ernestine, 17 years ago in New York City. On our first date, as she will attest, I said, hey, if this happens to go anywhere, I'm sorry, but I'm declaring myself up front. You'll always be number two to my job, which is my life.
And tells his wife, you will always come second. Ouch.
Just for the record, you are number one because I do give you every waking second outside of this job. I don't do anything but her. Friday night is date night unless LeBron's playing.
Or is she number two to just LeBron? I mean, after all,
LeBron's had way more all-star help than Michael ever thought about having.
This is who he attacked from day one.
Can he right now at 52 years old
Right here, right now.
beat LeBron one-on-one? I mean, and beyond, come on.
You know, Stephen A.
Oh
Smith?
gosh, don't don't do this.
You know? He just might be able to.
Don't do
He
this.
just might be able to.
Okay.
Drumming up BS headlines.
LeBron James was made for the regular season. My eye test tells me that Michael's better. We're just sort of doing vacuum to vacuum, you know, just what do they look like? Because LeBron has a huge deficiency in his game. He runs from the free throw line late in games. No, he has more all-around skills than Michael had.
Oh.
But Michael's 100 times better winner.
And quite honestly, is partially responsible for these nauseating takes that have drowned the sports fan in endless debate culture crap for ratings. As Dom2K wrote, man said women come and go, but this LeBron slander is forever.
Main reason that LeBron James, formerly Prince James, finally broke through after 9 long NBA seasons and won his first ring was that in games 2 through 5 of the NBA Finals, he was guarded by his best buddy, Kevin Durant. LeBron is a shrewd operator, and he knows full well that you keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And I say, once again, Kevin Durant, congratulations, you are owned by LeBron James. Have fun in next year's NBA Finals, finishing second again.
And Durant responding on the Twitter saying, quote, Skip Bayless, you are brainwashing these people out there. They think since you're on ESPN, you know what you're talking about.
Bayless, more like baitless, because all he does is put whack commentary out there, hoping an athlete takes it and runs with it, because guess what? Then they have more content.
This is going to be a message for Kevin Durant. Repeatedly, when I've tried to help him or protect him or defend him, he responds by attacking me, saying I have no idea what I'm talking about. And yet, Kevin Durant finally responded mid-year last year by attacking me to the Oklahoma City media, the Oklahoman in particular, saying that I don't know basketball. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Fair enough. And I'm going to tell you that Kevin Durant is again falling into LeBron's trap.
Here's an example of a manufactured segment at the hands of Bayless himself, because being a troll in sports media pays well.
Just because you're a power forward, that doesn't make you physical. Just because you're a shooting guard, that don't mean you can jack up threes. That's
What
just
were
a
you,
position.
Jalen? What were you?
Where were you? Did you
What were you?
Did you average 1.4 points as a senior in high school?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so all of that Pistol P stuff, Water Pistol Pete Jr.
Okay, we'll address that later.
Sometimes he gets called out.
We're going to.
Don't ignore that. Did you play junior?
Yeah.
Did you play JV as a junior?
Yeah.
Okay.
After boasting of his high school career, well, it turns out Bayless skipped on the truth. He proclaimed he was Pete Maravich, but Coach disagreed. That man is Don Van Poel, who said his senior year, he, as in Bayless, was like the number 7 man. TheLostOgle.com even disputed Bayless's claim that he was a starter after searching through Northwest yearbooks from that period. The website posted a document that showed he only scored 21 points in 15 games for a measly average of 1.4 a game. He's gloating of this media career where, at one point, he tore Dak Prescott to shreds for being honest about his depression.
I have deep compassion for clinical depression, but when it comes to the quarterback, it's the ultimate leadership position in sports. You are commanding an entire franchise, and they're all looking to you to be their CEO, to be in charge of the football team. Because of all that, I don't have sympathy for him going public with, I got depressed. I suffered depression early in COVID to the point that I couldn't even go work out. Look, he's the quarterback of America's team.
The term tone deaf doesn't even do it justice. It's blasphemous. Prescott, Cowboys quarterback, opened up about his brother's death and how he's battled depression. He was open and honest, and for that, Skip Bayless crushed him. And in return, Bayless was ripped by his peers, a common theme of this man's all me, look at me career.
This is just personal preference on my part. I'm not taking a shot at him about this, but he's a little heavy, and I wouldn't want my head coach in the National Football League to not look the part at all, because you got to stay in some semblance of condition to show that you know who you are and what you have some confidence in yourself, right?
He body shamed Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy. An ex-Fox Sports PR executive weighed in on Bayless's self-implosion. The absolute embarrassing disgrace to one of the all-time great sports divisions in television history continues because he is still allowed to get away with this complete nonsense. Ryan Russillo, an ex-colleague at ESPN, told the Sports Business Daily, the problem is when you disagree with Skip, you're not allowed to, and then he gets mad at you about it. When the LeBron stuff comes up, if you're going to be so clearly doctoring the results to keep pushing, you don't like LeBron, or you don't think he's good, then go ahead and keep doing it because it's clearly great for business. But you can't get mad at other opinion people for being like, well, that's just insane, and I don't even know if you believe it. When you disagree with Skip, it gets handled a different way, and a lot of us are just like, whatever. So that's why we never bring it up. Russillo basically said bad-mouthing Skip when they were at ESPN was a no-no, even though Bayless is wrong a lot of the time.
You know, everybody know I hate Skip Bayless. Like, he'll miss 9 out of 10 games, and then he'll brag about the one upset he got right out of those 10 games. Like, I told you that team was going to upset. I was like, yo, man, you missed the other 9 games. But I hate guys who do that on television.
Troy Aikman, an NFL Hall of Famer and 3-time Super Bowl winner who holds a position of calling NFL games on Fox, said of Bayless's hiring in 2016, to say I'm disappointed would be an enormous understatement. I believe success is achieved by acquiring and developing talented, respected, and credible individuals, none of which applies to Skip Bayless. He became a punchline for his Johnny Manziel takes, which were intentionally absurd. He did the same with Tim Tebow. Again, intentionally absurd. His obsessiveness with Kawhi Leonard bordered on psychotic. But of course, he got the reaction he envisioned from Leonard's fellow NBA players. Skip Bayless chose hating over his marriage and having kids. He said, F them kids. I'm a full-time hater, tweeted Guap. And you know what? He can whitewash his career as much as he likes. And he could go on these tangents about, I'm dedicated to the game, I love the game. The issue is, in him loving it and having this passion, who has he defamed along the way? Who has he crushed along the way for no reason whatsoever other than to drive clicks and ratings? So yes, he can do this, and he could have this candid way of presenting himself on this new show that he has, but just remember who we're discussing here and how he is always going to tell the story in a limited bias scope.